So you expect the next October 7th to come not from Gaza, but from Port Sudan in Africa?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly that. That can be tomorrow, it can be a few years later, but it's dangerous. If we don't deal with it, we're just waiting for another bin Laden to grow in Sudan, for him to carry another 9/11. And the Islamists who targeted India are no different from those who are running right now, the Sudanese army, unfortunately. That is the danger when a state supports terrorism. It's quite dangerous. They export it everywhere. An attack in Kashmir is not just an attack on India, it's an attack on global security, in fact. And it's the same thing when it goes to the 7th of October, the genocide which was committed in Israel. It was an attack on the entire Middle East. The issue is the fact that the silence at that moment, it only guarantees it will spread to every corner of the civilized world. We must stand united against these threats. We can't just watch it happening.
So what's next? What could happen?
Well, I believe that the next October 7th style terrorist attack it could be on Israel, basically. On Israel, it could happen again. But this time from Africa. Especially from the Hamas of Africa, the Muslim Brotherhood-led army in Sudan. It's known for the Hamas of Africa, and they actually helped Hamas before. Yeah, and right now, Iran is sending and selling drones through Port Sudan, where they are being distributed across Africa. It's very dangerous. Iran is using that place right now. Iran's proxy, Iran proxies in Gaza, in Lebanon, they're weakened. Or some of them they lost. And Tehran is replacing them with the new ones. And this time they are based on Sudan. And that is the same place where Al-Qaeda began. Let's not forget here, Osama bin Laden, he was trained and planned 9/11, in fact, in Sudan, supported by the same Islamists right now who are running the military, running the army, and they are right now running the Port Sudan government. In fact, as I remember, Hamas has already relocated many of its leaders to Port Sudan recently. Some members of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, who used to be in Libya, in Syria, in fact, they also moved from Syria to Sudan, and where the Sudanese army right now has guaranteed them, at least 7 of them, they have the Sudanese citizenship. So they are terrorists who have been actually attacking even the Syrian people and participated in that, and right now they live there in Sudan.
So you expect the next October 7th to come not from Gaza, but from Port Sudan in Africa?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly that. And this is, by the way, not the first time, and it's not new at all. April 2011, a missile strike near Port Sudan, in fact, and it eliminated a senior member of Hamas, logistic officers. It was connected to the Muslim Brotherhood. Of course, Hamas is the armed forces of the Muslim Brotherhood. And on October 23rd, also in 2012, I believe, the Yarmouk munition factory in Khartoum, it was used to produce the weapon for Hamas terrorists, and it was targeted and destroyed, as it was reported back then by the state of Israel. So they support Hamas, the Islamists right now, the ones who run the government. They fund it through, of course, various charities in the West also, be it the Islamic Relief and others, who use London as unfortunately, as one of their bases where they steal the money from the Western people, the great civilization, and they send it to Hamas terrorists. But now they can't do it directly, so they will send that many of the Islamic Relief charity that they collect from Sheffield, Birmingham, and London. They send it to, let's say, they put it under any umbrella, humanitarian aid to Sudan, and it will arrive to Port Sudan for the army to take it, and they smuggle it all the way to reach Hamas members, or they would just give it to Hamas members in Sudan, and some of them who became Sudanese citizens. So they will send that money of the Islamic Relief charity that they collect from Sheffield, Birmingham, and London. They send it to, let's say, they put it under any umbrella, humanitarian aid to Sudan. And it will arrive to Port Sudan for the army to take it, and they smuggle it all the way to reach Hamas members, or they would just give it to Hamas members in Sudan, and some of them who became Sudanese citizens right now, and they are training right now there. And it's becoming very dangerous at this stage, to a point, Hamas and others, they have learned that you can't have a direct war with Israel. So what they want to have is the Houthi style, and Houthi style right now is it's been tackled at least by the United States of America. So them understanding that is, how about we go to Sudan? And in Sudan is really huge, it's really big. It will make it very difficult for the international community to counter those terrorists. And from there, they can utilize and use the Houthis drones or the Iranian drones. The Houthis, in fact, are training members of Hamas and the jihadists in Sudan right now to use the drones. And it's about whatever time they choose to attack. That can be tomorrow, it can be a few years later, but it's dangerous. If we don't deal with it, we're just waiting for another bin Laden to grow in Sudan, for him to carry another 9/11. And that's exactly what happened. The world waited. The danger was seen there. In fact, countries like mine, UAE, and many countries have banned the Muslim Brotherhood and have banned those terrorists and radicals, and have spoken to the Western world about this, but unfortunately, many of those terrorists are right now in the West are operating as activists, or recently as lawyers defending terrorists or criminals or rapists, or whichever. However, there have been various cases to a point where children been raped in United Kingdom. And if when when people named those rapists, they called them Islamophobic. No, it's not. First, it doesn't represent Islam or religion by doing such an act, heinous act. Second, the fact that the British people are speaking about their rights to criticize those rapists, those Muslim Brotherhood terrorists, it's a freedom of speech. And it's not Islamophobia. In fact, that's what they do. They try to censor people in the name of Islamophobia from criticizing people like the Muslim Brotherhood-led army in Sudan. The Islamists who targeted India are no different from those who are running right now the Sudanese army, unfortunately. That is the danger when a state supports terrorism. It's quite dangerous. They export it everywhere, and would like to see a difference to that. And I think India will thrive. India is a country of tolerance, peace, prosperity, coexistence. And I have visited India various times, Kashmir, and I've seen the Muslims in India, one of the largest population in the world. They live in peace. They're thriving. And, and that's exactly what the terrorists and the Islamists, all the way from Sudan to India, to all around the world, are not happy about. So all we need right now at this stage to see the smile of the Indian people. Stay strong, and the world stands with you.
Thank you.